Hey, everybody. Hey, 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 hey. It is Wellness Wednesday. I'm so glad that you are here. So glad that you joined us. Why don't you go ahead and tap in where you are from? Tap in where you're from. I got to tell you something. I was talking for about a minute or so, and I didn't realize that I had my mute button on. Crazy, crazy. It's Wellness Wednesday. I got to get myself together. I got to get well. You hear me? Go ahead and tap in where you're from. I see already that we've got Keep the Faith with Tori in the house. She says, hey, Tori, how you doing? Glad to see that you are here. Absolutely. So what I want to let you guys know that today is Wellness Wednesday, and on the podcast, we're going to be talking to wellness and self-care practitioner Kendrea Robinson. She's also a business leader and owner of Practical Purpose Solutions. Today, we're going to discuss wellness and self-care as a means to reset and improve one's life. I hope to gain some insight in vitamin infusions and B12 injections because it's not something that I'm really familiar with. As we all begin to prioritize our well being, we're looking to achieve a certain work life balance, and taking care of ourselves is one of those ways that we can do that. But before we get into the show, I got to go ahead and let you guys know we got to breathe first. You know that. We got to relax. We're reclaiming our time. It's lunchtime, but we changed it to noontime, my time. Let's get into some breath work, guys. How are we going to do it? We're going to inhale to the count of 4. Then we're going to hold that a few seconds, right? And then we're going to exhale and hold that a few seconds. And we'll do that a few times, all right? You guys can continue to prioritize the self-care. Thank you for joining me. Let's breathe. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. One more time. Inhale. Hold that a few seconds. And exhale. How's that feel? Yeah. Shake some of that off. Shake some of what has started out today that may not be going your way. Get that off of you before you eat lunch. You need to be able to digest your food properly. You want to be in a nice frame of mind, right? So I hope that helped you feel better. Let's get into the show. I want to go ahead and bring in Kendrea. How you doing, Kendrea? How you doing, lady?
Hey, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I hear you now.
Okay, good.
How you feeling today?
I am feeling really good. I am feeling really
Good, good,
good.
good.
It's midweek, so I am feeling good.
Okay. Well, we're really excited to have you here. You know that, right? I'm definitely excited to have you here. And you've got some things and some information that is going to be very important to share with people because anytime that we can learn something new that is going to help us, like
hmm
I'm open to it and I'm ready for it. And I know that I'll let you tell us a little bit about it. You're the owner of Practical Purpose Solutions. So why don't we start there? Give us a little idea
Yes.
about what you do and what type of services that you offer.
Yes, so I am the owner of Practical Purpose Solutions. We focus on helping individuals reset to refocus, and that started years ago. So I always been focused on, focused on helping individuals understand the importance of keeping balance in their life. Because of course, we live in a rural community before it started growing. And a lot of us just wasn't really aware of the importance of what we're intaking nutritional wise, exercising. It wasn't a norm. It wasn't a
Mhm.
norm. And as I began to have my own journey after losing 26 pounds and going from a 2X to medium to a large, I was like, well, if I could do it, I know that people around me could do it, which was like my family, my close friends. And so if people that's been around me, they know, like I would always talk about like, why y'all eating that? Why you not doing this? And so I realized that the community as a whole needed it. It wasn't just
Right.
my family. And so when I started doing more research, started exercising more, I realized how mentally when I would miss certain days, I was like, dang, like I really feel bad because I didn't work out today. Like my mental was just off. And so it really made me aware, like we have to be conscious about what we're intaking, and we need to be more conscious about, physically staying active because it makes a big difference in what we're doing productivity wise, and even like how we look. And so that is how we end up with Practical Purpose Solutions. It started off initially with One More Step as a nonprofit, and then as I got my nurse practitioner, I wanted to kind of do more. So I got into Practical Purpose Solutions. So here we reset individuals literally. Our vitamin infusions, which we'll talk more about later,
Mhm.
help individuals to feel better. Makes them look
Yeah.
better. And we have injections and different things like that too that helps
Okay.
with energy. But one thing I've realized, if you can reset, you're going to be able to do a whole lot more. And I
Right.
always come across individuals that's in business or they just have really high level careers. So, they are directors or they have jobs that require a lot out of them. Even if it's just working at a steel plant, you still have to do a lot physically.
Yeah,
So
people have
resetting, you
to.
need it.
You're right. People really need to focus on that self-care. Yes, we're out here and we're working and a lot of people are doing the things that they should be doing to take care of home, to take care of their house. You think about and even taking care of their vehicles. People go get oil changes, they take their car to the mechanic. So we're taking care of things that we have. So I find that it's important for us to take care of ourselves. We have to prioritize that because if we're out here, we're hustling to make these things work, hustling to raise our children and have our families have a nice life, but at the
Hmm.
same time, running ourselves down, not refueling ourselves.
Yes,
And I will say
yes.
this, I mean, I don't know what a lot of you people out here know about some of this new age, um, I'll say new age self-care, new age ways of vitamins and supplement intake, but I'm just learning a lot of new things and if I think about the generation that I come from and when I was growing up, the most we knew about vitamins was taking, like, those Fred those Fred Flintstone vitamins, and we were just excited to take
Hmm.
'em. We were excited to
Hmm.
take 'em, and they tasted like chalk. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm. I remember
Yeah.
those days too.
It's
I remember those
outrageous.
days. Yeah, it is. And it's funny that you said it tastes like chalk because now vitamins that they make, actually, some of them don't taste so bad. Like they
Right.
actually make it enjoyable.
Mhm.
So
So
yeah.
what are some of the because I'm curious. So let's get
Uh-huh.
into it. I'm really, really curious because I've never done, vitamin infusions or B12 shots or anything like that. I know that people also, there's a place that does, like, shots in terms of what drinkers think of as shots, where
Hmm.
they take a drinking shot. So, kinda let us know the difference, kinda let us know what it is that you offer, and just give us a very beginner insight of what this is about.
Yeah, I have a lot of people that always tell me, I don't understand why I feel so bad. I still take vitamins every day. But what they don't understand is that when you take oral supplements, you're only going to get about 60% of the supplement. So even, well, 40%, 40 to 60. So even when people are taking multivitamins, yeah, you're taking them, but your body is only getting about 40 to 60% of what they actually have on the in the ingredients. So if they say
Okay,
you're
wait
gonna
a
get
minute.
2,000 vitamin D.
Okay, wait a
Hmm.
minute, because I hadn't heard this. So you're saying that we could be taking all of these vitamins and supplements. We're going to the health food
Hmm.
store. We're spending it because they're really expensive. They really are.
Yeah,
If you're going to take
they are.
a higher quality and some of the more natural type organic supplements, and we're only getting
Hmm.
40%.
40 to 60%. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that. Okay, continue. You're educating me.
Yes. So you get 40 to 60%. When you do an IV, you're going to get 100%. So it's just like if you've ever known anybody that had a really bad, maybe pneumonia, or maybe they went to the doctor and let's say they gave them oral antibiotics. So they gave them some antibiotics to take home, but it didn't clear up. So then now they have to go to the ER and get IV antibiotics. The IV is going to work better because they're getting it at a 100% level. So it's going directly to your cells versus them taking that oral antibiotic that they were taking. So the pneumonia may have developed because they weren't really able to get the full, the antibiotic wasn't really able to work fully because maybe, it was just getting a little worse. But when they took that IV, it's going to immediately go to the cells and start working immediately. So the
Mm.
thing with the IV vitamins, like during COVID, we had so many individuals that was coming in when it initially started. They would get the drip bags. So some of them may not have had COVID, right? But they were coming in getting the drip bags, and like instantly, there was like, oh my God, like my sinus is already cleared up. I can actually breathe a little bit because it
Wow.
was going to their cells immediately. So they were
Hmm.
getting up immediately. So even people with lack of energy, they
Hmm.
immediately begin to feel a difference. Now we have some people who just severely dehydrated. So they may not feel it immediately, but once they get around moving and, they get a little bit more water intake the next day, it's like they feel great because now
Okay.
their body got the cells got what it needed. So that's the big difference between taking the supplements by mouth or anything by mouth versus doing the IV.
Okay. Well, in respect to doing that, typically because I take vitamins and I take supplements and I do that daily, in fact. So, in comparison of doing infusions, how often does one take infusion versus a person who is taking daily vitamins?
Okay, so for me, I'm a health guru when it comes to this. I always tell all my clients, when you get your bag, you need to leave taking your vitamins. There's no excuses because now your body has this boost. And when you take your supplements, it's going to be amazing because now your body has been able to catch up. So taking your supplements is like your extra, continuing. You're not going to be slacking off. So you're going to have what you need. And so you can have like our vitamins here. We have some clients that do come weekly, but it depends on what exactly they're getting. So we have some who might just say, I just want an all around package. So they might have their, for those who work out, they might have their sports recovery drip one week. One week they might have their wellness drip because every drip is going to be tailored to your need.
Mhm.
And then we have some who might just specifically get these one drips, so they may come every 2 to 4 weeks. It just depends on the individual, financially what they can afford, and then also timing because a lot of our clients are busy individuals, so it's like
Right.
they have to have that time to sit down and actually get the drip infusion.
Now let me ask you a question because I love the idea of this, and, it sounds logical. It makes a whole lot of sense. I can hear the science behind it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm also thinking about a person who may not really like needles, and I'm also thinking about, like, what happens when you do this a lot? Like, do you have to begin to get different injection points? I'm thinking that way. I'm thinking like, okay, well, if I'm
Oh,
getting injections a lot, how is that
right.
affecting, where I'm being injected?
That
And
site.
are there certain places that I could be injected or you shouldn't be injected? Talk a little bit about the needle part of it.
Yes. So everybody is different. So we do have some people who are just extremely challenging. So sometimes we may have to go in that one site when they come. And then we have others, we can rotate sites. Now, one of the things I don't suggest is um, if that site has been punctured a lot and I can see, like that redness or, if the person's like, I just really uncomfortable, then we're not gonna, do an inject, we're not gonna do that site. So it just really depends on the person. Cause like if somebody is a frequent flyer in the hospital and they just got that one site, if you're really critical, it's like you gotta go there. But I kind of see where the client is coming from. And if it's uncomfortable to the point, we don't need to do it, then we just won't do it. But it doesn't do any harm. Now you can, of course, with multiple times, it can become irritated or, a little bruised. But we don't really have that often. I think I might have had one or two people that was like, it's still a little tender. So it's like, no, we're not gonna do that. We just wait a few more weeks. But other than
Okay.
that, no. Hmm.
Got you. Um, so in terms of, I see that you have the B12 shots, and I imagine that is an infused shot, or is it a shot? Which one are you doing?
So with the shots, different ones. So we have what we call B12. Of course, everybody know about B12. I think that's been out forever. So what B12 does is, it turns your carbs into energy. So it turns your carbs into glucose. So that's how you get the energy. Now, the lipotropic injections has been out for a while as well, but it hasn't been really talked about in certain areas. But with the lipotropic injection, it has a mixture. So it has the B12, it has the amino acids, and then it have a B complex blend. So with that, it does help with weight loss. So it's a fat burner. But also, in
Hmm.
addition, it helps with increasing your energy. And you get a little bit more energy because it has a B complex in it. So that's the best thing about the lipotropic. And those are weekly injections. And of
Okay,
course, they do tailor to everybody. It's different.
now help somebody who is a little unaware. It could be like, on the country side, like myself. And you said lipotropic. I could be pronouncing it wrong because I've never heard of it. What is that again? Just so that I can be clear. What is it and what is it for?
So the lipotropic injections are injections that have a B comp. It's like a B mix with amino acids, and we call them lipomino mix injections. But it has a B12, and then it has, which helps with energy. Then it has a B complex, and then it has an amino acid. So the amino acids, for those who don't really understand the I guess the I don't want to know. I don't even know how to explain it. The physiological part of amino acids. So you need amino acids when you talk about protein. Amino acids build protein, so you get
Right.
protein from amino acids. So what amino acid does to our body is, of course, it's good for everything that we do. Like our organs are built off protein.
Right.
And so the amino acids is really good for your body because it does help with increasing your metabolism, but in return, it does help with weight loss, fat burning. And then when you do mix it with the B12, now you're getting energy and you're getting that mixture of having that fat burner to help balance out all those heavy carbs that you love to eat. So I have clients that are like, how do you stay so small? I'm like, I don't know. The only thing I'm doing is the fat burner, but I think it's because of fat burner, because I don't always eat the best, but
Right.
that fat burner is able to, alternate when I'm eating as well. So just in general, like our clients, they love it because they shred inches. So it's not something that
Okay.
you want to use if you want looking for heavy pounds, like 10 or 12 pounds in like a week. But it
Right.
definitely helps keep your inches down.
So it kind of serves as a maintenance in terms of weight management. Is that probably a good way to talk
Yes.
about that?
Yes. Mm-hmm. It does.
Okay. I was unaware. See, there's things that we really need to know because um we come across these things online or we might hear people talking about it and we really don't know. I'm
Right.
happy to see that we have people who are in the field and who are taking it serious and bringing it to people who are unaware. That's why I wanted you to come in today and talk to people about that. Um, and let me ask, because we are in a smaller city, a smaller town in the South. How have people been reacting to a business like this? Are you there?
You hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead.
Okay. When I first started, I don't really know because when I first started, I had a really good clientele for the hydration because it was during a season where people were just wanting to get like they just wanted a quick fix. Like they were like, I can't deal with these colds. Like that's when COVID was going on. So it was a lot of colds. It was a lot of seasonal allergies. It was just a lot going on with the sinuses. So they were just wanting to get that quick fix.
Mhm.
Um, and then I kept getting like a lot of people calling like, what is this? Like what? And it was the educational portion because in this area, people don't they don't know. They didn't know what it was. They didn't understand really and truly what it was. I think there may have been a few people that may have done it or was offering it, but for our community, honestly, there just wasn't a lot of education on it. And
Right.
so at first, they were kind of hesitant because they was like, I don't know if I want a needle. And
Right.
so, of course, I didn't see people with the biggest gauge. But once they got it that first time, it was like, oh, it's not that bad. So I need to tell my family about it. And so they started spreading the word about it. Um, and so the educational portion was a lot. So that's why I had to always educate because I was like, I want them to understand how serious this is because for me to get it when I first got it, I was skeptical. I was like, this can't be true. And so I started getting it in Atlanta when I would go down to see different people, and I would start getting it, and I realized like, oh, these celebrities out here getting it too. Like I
Right.
started realizing like it's a lot of people getting it. They don't advertise it, but this is why their skin is glowing, and this is why they have so much energy. But they don't tell us about this. And so I was like, yes, I'm excited about telling my community about it because we need that innovation and we needed it, especially at the time with COVID. It was just like, every time we heard about the issues, it was just like somebody died or somebody's sick and everybody's just taking the same stuff. But it was just so many
Right.
other options in these bigger cities that people were doing. And so the educational part, so when people would see me post all the time, like I saw your post, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, okay, thank you, guys, because I went to him about marketing because I was like, well, I don't know what to do. Like, this is new, but you're gonna help me with this. So that was one of the things was to market to the people about it. So I think the marketing piece and the word of mouth was just everything. Like the
Right.
support was a blessing.
Okay. Now, as it relates to age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I would imagine that a younger demographic is pretty much easier to grasp the concept of that. What is the age demographic of the patients that you see and how well they receive the actual injections? You muted.
So I'll tell you one thing. So like it's funny that you said a younger generation. So honestly, my 70-year-olds and 80s and 60-year-olds, they are like they are like my clientele. Like
Are you
I've
serious?
had I am so serious. And I've had I'll tell one story about one of my clients. So one of my clients, I think she's like 78. I can tell you two stories. She's like 78. And she came in, she was very depressed. And she was just like, I had COVID. I lost my sister. She was like my best friend. And she was like, I just never bounced back. She was like, I've been trying to bounce back. I haven't bounced back. And she was like, I've been dealing with this about 6 months. And so I told her, I said, well, the drip is going to help you. I couldn't help her in a long term aspect. I was able to refer her, but I wasn't able to help her in a long term aspect. She would have to keep coming to get the drips, but I couldn't help her like with the depression and how that occurred and talking her through that stuff, that would take some like a therapist to help her, which we got her there too. But over time, she came in with kidney issues too. It wasn't severe. It was mainly from the dehydration. Her kidneys have resolved. Her depression is completely, pretty much, she's not even having depression anymore. And on top of that, she gets her infusions every month. And when
Wow.
I tell you she comes faithfully, and she's just like, if I would have never have received that infusion, I don't think I would have bounced back. She left that
Wow.
same day. She was like, I feel so good. She was like, I just can't believe that this really worked. And it's just that powerful. That's the powerful reset that it gives. I have another client that was living, I think she was like 75, and she had COVID, and she said she's tried everything. But in the middle of her infusion, she said, this really worked. And she literally left feeling amazing,
In the
feeling amazing. She
middle?
bounced back in the middle,
Wow.
in the
See,
middle.
you're giving me these ages and telling me about people that I really was not expecting. I kind of thought that younger people would be more into doing it, and like an older generation would probably
Mm-hmm.
be the ones a lot more skeptical. So I'm happy
No,
to hear
there.
that people in an older age category are really looking at how can I better my health? How can I do
Mm-hmm.
this even with new age styles of self-care? That's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing. And I mean, I still get different age range, but to see the older ones really were motivation to me because it lets me know that they're interested in, even though they have, and they're in their 70s, it was just like they're interested in having an enhanced quality of living. They understand to utilize, the things that's available to them. And so that, yeah, that was amazing. And I'm telling you, like, to see how people respond in general, and even down to I have college students that come faithfully and they get our mellow me drip, but it's so funny because when they get it, they just be like, I be like, hold on now. Like, are y'all just coming because y'all like to fit? Some of these college kids are interesting. But when
Right.
they're done, they really like this. It really helped me. Like, I get back to studying like I need to. And after they have like long exams, some of the parents bring them in and they're just like, it just really helps. And so, yeah.
Wow. Wow, that is
Hmm.
really awesome. So, I see here that we have Miriam Miller. She says that she saw something about this whole procedure on the Housewives of Atlanta. When you were talking about, stars and people out there who are more into healthcare and they're doing things that, people who are not into
Hmm.
entertainment don't even know
Yeah,
anything about.
they get it faithfully. And I have
Right, right.
clients that get those surgeries and they have this already planned in their, because a lot of people go get surgeries too and they don't understand about hydration. But I promise you, like people in those bigger cities and celebrities, they have this on board like
Yeah.
immediately.
And keep the faith from Tori. She says, "Hey, Kendrea."
Oh, hey girl. I love me some Tori.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That is so awesome. So, are there any particular things that people should know or practices that they should do before they get injections or immediately after they receive injections? What is that procedure like?
Yeah, so before I always tell people make sure you hydrate. Because it will be challenging. If you're a severely dehydrated person and you're trying to get an IV, if you're severely dehydrated, it would be very challenging to get an IV. Um, Sometimes I may have had one person I never ever was able to get, and I told they had to go to the ER. It's like you're gonna have to go to the ER. But hydrate as much as you can. And my mindset wise, don't look at it as a negative thing when it comes to the needle. It is a little pinch, but I promise you now, if somebody's hitting you with a 20 gauge, I don't know. I don't do that here. But don't look at the needle as a negative thing. Think about how you're going to feel afterwards. Think about the long-term effect it's going to have on your body because there's so many different vitamins that you can get, so many different amino acids that you can have. So think about the long term and how it's going to help your internal health. Because I can go through some of those too, if you want me to, Tanya. But think about that before coming, and then after you get the procedure, of course, you want to stay hydrated. because I
Mhm.
always tell people don't look at, because I'm not a person that just, want people money or nothing. So I always tell people hydrate. You don't have to come every week. Just hydrate, take your vitamins. This is your boost. This should be more motivating because now you done got your cells got what it needed. And so take your multivitamins. Make sure that you know some of your levels. So even though we don't have a vitamin infusion for vitamin D, there are vitamin D injections. So you can do injections for vitamin D if you have a low vitamin, you have vitamin D deficiency. So with that, take your vitamin D still, because especially as melanated individuals, sometimes that can affect you as well with your vitamin D. So just staying on top of the game once you get the vitamin infusions. And of course, medically, you want to pay attention to your site. You want to make sure that there's no like severe bruising, like knots or anything like that. But it's pretty simple, the before and after care. It's just
Okay.
implementing the vitamins when you're
Okay.
done.
Well, I'm asking these questions, a lot of them for myself, but I'm sure there are people out there who are just as curious as I. Um,
Yes.
are there any particular medicational warnings or things that cannot go together if you're on particular medications that it wouldn't be suggested that you do, or talk a little bit about
Um,
that?
so we do have to be mindful, like if somebody's on like an antipsychotic, which is like for mental health, sometimes those drugs you may not have a good effect from the drip with those drugs. Um, but as far as contraindications, as long as somebody doesn't have congestive heart failure, renal failure in severe cases, then, of course, those individuals won't be able to get it because it can cause more fluid in their body, a buildup of fluid. So we don't kind of recommend those individuals to get it. But definitely, we encourage individuals who deal with issues with wounds, issues with the lack of energy, individuals that have a low immune system, meaning that you're consistently having issues with your sinuses,
Mhm.
sinus pressure, runny nose. We definitely encourage that because sometimes you may never see um, that on a lab result. You're just going to
Okay.
see it in symptoms.
Well, we have a
Also, if you have,
question.
oh,
We have
what's
a
the
we have
question?
a question from someone in the chat. Miriam Miller, she wants to know, what if you have low potassium levels?
So low potassium, we do have a vitamin infusion that helps with that. And it has magnesium in it. So magnesium and calcium alternates itself. So when you give more of magnesium, you're going to increase um, that potassium level as well. So we have drips that does help with that, but we don't have drips that helps with directly giving you potassium.
Okay. Okay. We have another question as well from Keep the Faith with Tori. She said, what would you suggest for those with vitamin D deficiency? I think you spoke a little bit on that, but if you could
Mhm.
give her a little bit more insight.
So with the vitamin D deficiency, it does depend on how low you are, but if you have a vitamin D deficiency, you should technically, mostly everybody that has a vitamin D deficiency, it should be on a 50,000 unit day weekly, not daily, weekly. And it may have to increase depending on how severe it is. And then you should be taking it oral supplement daily. And then with the vitamin D injection shots, you just take those weekly. So some of my clients that have vitamin D deficiency, they get their weekly injection because they know they're melanated and they know they're not going to get that vitamin D like they should, but they're also taking their 50,000 units weekly. I have about two clients. It's so funny because when they get their vitamin D injections, they can tell the difference like immediately, because vitamin D just deals with so much. It deals with the way your fatigue, your brain fog, depression, bones, joints. It just deals with a lot.
Hmm. I didn't know that. So what are some of the
Hmm.
particular things that one of your clients or some of your clients might tell you in response to receiving vitamin D injections?
Well, they think better. They think better. They're not as tired. Like some of my clients, like one of my clients, she was when she first came, and I was like, "You need a vitamin D level check." When she first came, she was just saying like she could get up in the morning and by 11 o'clock she was just tired, like just fatigued. And now that she's getting it, she don't have that tiredness. Like she's still able to go. I don't know how much she goes on a regular, but she doesn't complain about it, right? She don't complain about her fatigue. She's just doing what she's supposed to do, and she doesn't have that issue.
Okay. So after receiving the injection, do you continue with supplementation with your regular
Yeah.
okay, so
Hmm.
they do that.
Yeah. It's just a maintenance. I always tell people these injections, I don't ever want anybody to feel like they need to stop taking their supplements. You want to keep taking your supplements. And of course, if you get to a point where we reach 8 levels, but if it's too high, of course we will stop it. But I haven't had anybody that was too high on those and the vitamin D.
Well, let me ask this question. How are people how do they you know what your levels are? I mean, because this isn't something that we know. How do we know that we're low in vitamin D or any type of level? How are they going to find this out?
So everybody who has a yearly annual should have a vitamin D. I've encountered some people that didn't, but that's just a requirement. Like my comprehensive panel for my wellness is going to include a vitamin D. Everybody should have that. Vitamin D is so critical to our bodies. It may not affect the heart in some aspects and some of the critical matters like our kidneys, like some people, focus on a lot, but vitamin D has a lot to do with our brain function, our joints. And so it has to be checked. As women, we need that check every year. You need your vitamin D level check. It should not be missed. You need your vitamin D level check. And at certain ages, you definitely need like your lipid panels checked.
So this is something that they would do when they visit their regular healthcare practitioner and with their
Mm-hmm.
annual checkup, just request that their vitamin D level is checked.
Yeah, it's checked at least once a year.
Okay, so just to be clear, there are no outside services other than going to a general care practitioner of finding out what those are. There are no labs where you could just get a lab workup.
Yeah, so I actually do labs here. If they want to, pay for that comprehensive, I know some people have insurance, so they just like to use the insurance. But we do labs here. Our labs are not expensive. We only charge 125 for our comprehensive panel, which is our wellness panel. That does check for vitamin D, the kidneys, and white counts and stuff like that. But there's also like if you just go to somebody and you're like they don't offer labs or you don't have insurance, you can always just say, hey, can you write me a prescription for or order me a vitamin D level, and you can get it checked at like LabCorp. So it just depends on what the provider is going to be able to offer them. But yeah,
Right.
vitamin D has I just feel like it's so critical, like because there's so many different things that causes vitamin D deficiency.
What's up? Tell us about some of the things. Tell us about some of the causes because there are many of us out here who may be doing things and we're just not aware that it is depleting our vitamin D. So, just give us a few of those
Mhm.
things if you don't mind.
So, number one big thing is not being in the sun a lot. That can
Hmm.
cause a vitamin D deficiency. Also, so a lot of women in the past have been on hormonal stuff, have been on not just supplements, but hormonal things like for birth control, postmenopausal, so many other hormonal supplements that can actually cause a breakdown of vitamin D in the body. So those are the main things when I say that there are different causes. I always return to that hormonal part because a lot of people don't understand that those depo shots and different things they do cause vitamin D deficiency in our body.
Okay. Got you. We have let's talk about it who's come in and she said, "Hello, trusting everyone is having an amazing and blessed productive day." Yes, we are. And
Yes.
thank you for joining us. We are talking about today wellness. It is Wellness Wednesday. You probably see the hashtag on many social media posts. Many people are talking about health. If we're going to make it Wellness Wednesday, I am here for it. So today we have Kendrea Robinson, and she is a wellness care provider. She's a wellness and self care practitioner. She offers a host of vitamin infusions and B12 injections, vitamin D. She's sharing a bit with us and educating us on some of the things that we can do along with our own vitamin and supplement intake. I would also encourage you all to make sure that you are checking with your medical care provider. Make sure that you're doing some of the right things in the age of the internet and listening to people and reading things, and we're just not really educated. You need to do a deeper
Mm-hmm.
dive. And that's why we have
Yeah.
a lot of these conversations. That's why conversation is important. But still make sure that you reach out to your healthcare provider. Make sure that you give them an idea of some of the things that you're interested in doing. And when you go to these other healthcare providers and wellness care providers like Kendrea, make sure you discuss with them the medications that you may be on so that you don't do something that might not balance out for you. Because the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea is that we're trying to get balanced, right?
Yeah. Yes.
All right, Kendrea, is there a last message that you would like to share with everyone who is listening right now, and just leave them with a little tip of something that they could do to really give them a pick me up?
Yes. So I want to encourage everyone who's on the live listening to this podcast to find that time to reset. Whether it's 2 minutes, 2 seconds, we all have a lot going on. Like if you say you don't have a lot going on, I don't know if that's true. We all have a lot going on. Rather it's, things that we're dealing with that's on our mind, but you need to take that time to just reset, sit back and meditate, assess, see where you're lacking, see what you're overdoing, and then you need to find that time to get it together, gather it together, write it down, what you need to do, what you need to focus on, what you're going to let go. One of the biggest things I focus on is releasing so you can receive. So you cannot go further until you release the things that you no longer need to be carrying, whether it's people baggage, whether it's old habits. You need to release those things so that you can receive the greater, that you can be able to take better care of yourself. Because as long as you're trying to take care of everybody else, trying to do all these other things, you're not going to be able to give yourself that time. You only have 24 hours in a day. So as long as you're giving it to something other than you, you're taking away from you. So release so that you can receive, reset as you assess. And then as you move forward, the next thing you need to focus on is implementing. So put implementation in place by, like we talked about today. If you need to go and Google these vitamins, what vitamins I need to take. Oh, this vitamin helps with this. Add it to your med pack. And then also too, one thing I will encourage you, as you take more vitamins, I have clients who blood pressures and different things that go down because now they're incorporating certain vitamins. So as you incorporate those vitamins and you start taking them because you're going to implement, and your blood pressure begin to change and certain chronic conditions begin to get, your numbers begin to get better. Go to your doctors. Hey, can I get off this medication? I know
Right.
we don't talk a lot about that, but these are things that you should be doing. But the only way you're going to be able to do it is if you're focused on you. Because as long as you're
Right.
going, you think, I just need to take my medicine and go. But
Yes.
no, this is how much in tune you need to be to you and your body. So implement that self love and implement your vitamins. And if you need help getting a boost, that's what I'm here for, to help you
All right.
reset and get your life all the way back together.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. Keep the faith with Tori. She says, great information. And indeed, it was. I appreciate you,
I
Kendrea.
appreciate being here. I thank you. This was really good. And keep up
Thank
what you're doing. And the
well, thank you.
consistency, because you're on it.
Well, listen, we are trying to be better, and we're trying to help the people around us be better, you know? So
Yes.
you're in that business, and I appreciate you bringing it to share with everyone. I appreciate you bringing it to our community, and anyone
You're
who is
welcome.
outside of the community that we are in. Like she said, go go look it up. Find those people. Make sure that they are reputable. Make sure that you talk to your doctor. Um, yes, we're here to provide information, but you can't take our information 100%. Only you can do the things that you need to do for yourself and get that information for yourself. This is just to kind of let you know what is available. All right.
Hmm. Oh,
And
Tanya, I was going to tell them if they need help, they can always get my book online if they need to get a starter.
all right.
And that's
Miriam
Married to
says,
Self Love.
awesome.
Yes.
But that's great. I'm glad that you provide that. So she's got a book online. Why don't you tell them where they can get your book?
You can get it on Amazon, and it's called Married to Self Love, or you can get it at www.resettorefocus.com, and you can get it from there. But it's definitely a great starter kit to, getting people focused and getting them back acclimated to them, because it is a self work book as well.
So you said the book is Married to Self-Love?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, you guys make sure you go to Amazon.com, go to the book section. It is Married to Self-Love. All right. I tell you what, that sounds like a marriage that definitely I wouldn't be getting divorced from. Definitely. Thank you again. So much valuable information. I hope that people take the opportunity to uh, check out the book. It has a workbook. Anytime that we can do something that is good for ourselves, that is what we want to do. That is why I am here. That is why we have noon time, my time. We're taking some time back. We're reclaiming
Yes.
our time. Just take a few minutes. We've already had that busy day and take some back. Relax and get ready to just kind of make it through the rest of the day. Power through it because you can, right? So we do that.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the self-care things that we talked about, vitamin supplementation today. What we do here every day at the beginning and at the end of this podcast is we practice just a little breathing. You guys might practice meditation to reduce some stress. Make sure you're eating some healthy snacks. Those healthy snacks can boost your energy. And just take a
Mm-hmm.
break. Learn how to relax. Learn how to relax, whether that's reading a book, whether that's taking a bath. Um, you can listen to music, watch some funny videos, which a lot of you guys do. Make sure you're drinking water. Kendrea told us the importance of staying hydrated. So pay attention to your caffeine beverage intake and make sure that you're getting some of that water and get some exercise. Get exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to say this one because this is one that we seem to have gotten away from. The older we get, take a nap. Just a
Mm-hmm.
good old nap, a power nap. Get you 20, 30 minutes in. If you can do that, you have done something wonderful for yourself. Take a nap like the little kids do, like you had to do in kindergarten. You had to get on your mat and you had to take a nap. And even if you were that kid who just felt like you didn't want to take a nap, you had to lay down, you had to be
Yeah.
quiet. And so that's important. So do that. All
Yes.
right. So, what we're going to do now, guys, we've had a wonderful conversation. We're going to get back into our workday. But before we do that, we are going to breathe. And you know how we do it. We inhale to the count of 4, and we'll hold that a few seconds. And then we'll exhale, and we'll hold that a few seconds. And then we're going to repeat that a few times. All right? Let's inhale. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. One more time. Inhale. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. Exhale. How do you feel? I hope you're feeling great. Hope you are feeling great. I want you to go and rock out the rest of the day. You deserve it. Just letting y'all rock out a few minutes. If you just want to rock out to the beat, you can do that. Music is brought to you by On Cornelius. Miriam says she's feeling great. That's awesome. That's what we want. All right, y'all. Have a great day. One love.